Easy.
Was that more intense than other days? Or am
Uh,
I
yeah, yeah.
I'm easily impressed these days.
Well, it's hard to keep track of things, and so sometimes you need to look different or think different about where things are, and those applause were crazy. But
Yeah.
sometimes you're looking for something on your website.
Yes.
Sometimes you struggle for transitions from starting when you do these every day. But
Doesn't need to be smooth.
let's say you've been doing your diligent work on your website
Mm-hmm.
and you have been uploading cool images that represent the store.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day you wonder, where's that image live? I'd like to go find that image. I can't remember where I put it on my computer, but I know I uploaded it to the website.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this image live? Well, this image lives in what we call the image admin. So if we go to settings and images,
Mm-hmm.
every image that gets uploaded, whether it's a product image if you're building catalog items or something for your homepage or an internal landing page, ends up here in the image admin. And you can use this in a number of ways. So, first of all, let's say you had a bunch of images you want to just upload and have handy. This is where you could do that in bulk. So, if you click upload and choose a place, and generally you'll put everything in this main site image. But if you were going to upload things that ended up in for catalog items, you could do that, or for design if you're doing some design work. But generally, you'll just use this main folder, and then you can go through here and upload images. And so you could upload this fine image I went and found for us uh, of a cool motorcycle and a dude in the desert, and you could upload that. And then once you upload that, do 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 do, then it gives you a couple things. It gives you this file path, so you could click the little copy icon and it just copies that file path for you. And
Oh,
then you
that's
can use
handy.
that in other places. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of having to hunt for the image, which I generally would just use the little folder and go find it and dig around and get it. But instead
Mm-hmm.
of that, you could just use the file path and paste that in whenever you want to use that.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the whole thing. Now you can, when you display results for that, this will go find all the images that have been uploaded, and you have the default as the list, but you can also do thumbnails, so you can have a better image, a better view of what those images are.
Mm-hmm.
You can scroll through the pages. You can even search by name. So that's kind of an odd name, but if I search 172, since I can see that, then it'll just go find all the 172s in the name. So if you remember that you named it something something logo,
Mm-hmm.
search logo.
I feel like that's what I've done the most in here is search for logos.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then, in addition to images, and you'll use this far less, is are files.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the most common option for this is a PDF. Now, I'm not a fan of uploading PDFs to websites just because there's just limited usability of those. I'd rather build a page that's got better searchability and visibility on it than just upload a PDF. But if
Mm-hmm.
you need to, it's there. And you can, of course, preview that PDF and see what it is. This is where I registered for the Foco Fondo a couple years ago. So register for local bike rides is always fun. And you can again search again search for those files, etc., and then just see what files are there. And that's pretty handy.
Mm-hmm.
On that, back to that image path idea. You see it when you upload it, but it lives right here when you display a search. And it's this part's always going to be the same. So if you were
Yeah.
swapping images out, which is pretty common, maybe you've got images in a highlight that you made and you just upload a new image once in a while, all you really would have to do is upload the image like we just did and
Mm-hmm.
then edit this one little piece of it. Just edit the name of the image itself because the rest of this path stays the same. So you wouldn't necessarily have to go find this every time.
Yeah.
And what else?
Oh, no, I can't think of anything else.
There you go. So if you want to upload a bunch of images, there's a place
Mm-hmm.
to do that. Same with files. Pick a place. Oh, here's one thing. You're going to notice this maximum
Mm.
allowable file size. You're also going to notice on your site, this is a much smaller number. As I've mentioned plenty of times, this is a demo site that I use to test things and beat up things and make sure everything works well. So you will have generally, I think it's 250 kilobytes, so a quarter of a megabyte, which these days is kind of small. But the idea is bandwidth takes time. Most, especially since most traffic these days on a mobile device, which generally have a little lower bandwidth. We don't
Mhm.
want people waiting for a bunch of images to load, so we
Yeah.
purposefully put very conservative limit on that so that you don't inadvertently slow your computer down. If you take a picture with your phone, just wide open, that image might be 6 or 7 or 8 megabytes. And if
Mhm.
you put 10 of those on a page, that's going to be a slow loading page. Search engines and more importantly, people do not like slow loading pages. So there's a limit to that. There's also a limit to the file size for things like PDFs as well. If you absolutely absolutely have to get around that limit for at least one image, then reach out to Client Success. They have ways they can help you get those files smaller, point you in the right direction, and in the worst
Mhm.
case scenario, can lift that limit momentarily just to help that one image go up. But they can work with that. We'll always be happy to help. Reach out if you need help with images and file admin.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good.